Sounds like a porno category.
I mean, it could be. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Uh,
She gonna volunteer to be in it? The hell?
I mean, no, totally would not do that.
Not at all. Not even close.
Why would I do that? Okay, now I'm back. I'm live again. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like whenever okay, so now what I was going to talk about. Whenever it comes to states where they have like a big city and then a how do you I can't pronounce the word right, like royal
Oh, rural areas.
yeah, like stuff, but places like that, like places where they vote like, so most of the people obviously live in the big cities. There's millions of people compared to like tens of thousands of people living in these small towns. But in those small towns, you have a more likely of a chance of coming across a bear, a coyote, a lion, like stuff like that. Stuff that could fucking kill, like a fucking mountain lion can pull like a 300-pound man from his neck up a tree easily, no problem, right? But then the people that are making laws like to stop hunting those animals are people that live in the big city that don't have to fucking deal with them. And those people that they don't interact with bears, like I want to protect them. Oh my god, we gotta protect them. No, they're gonna fucking kill you. They're gonna fucking kill you, dumbass. Because soon, once the population is way too big to deal with, they're gonna be coming into the city and they're gonna be killing your little precious little dog. They're gonna be killing your dog, your cat. They're gonna be killing you. They're gonna be going through your trash. Like it's gonna happen soon enough.
Well, with those bigger cities, the population's so big that animals don't really want to go to a place that is not like let's just say California and like Los Angeles for
Mm.
example, they don't have any like type of
But the
forestry. They don't
lion,
have any type of
mountain lions have been a big problem in LA recently. Like going to the city
yeah.
and attacking
I can see
people.
that, yeah.
They've been attacking people. They're
Bro,
trying to change the
mountain
laws
lion?
now. They're trying to change the laws now on that, on the hunting
Oh,
of
for like
them.
a mountain lion?
Because there's an
Bro?
overpopulation of mountain lions because they stop the hunting of them because you have to control populations of certain animals to keep other populations up. Like you can't have like a huge coyote or a huge mountain lion population and want to try to keep the deer population going.
Yeah.
Because if you have a higher if there's more mountain lions and more coyotes than there are deer, then the deer population is going to go down. And then what do you think those animals are going to go to? What do you think a coyote is going to go to or a mountain lion is going to go to? They're going to go to eating your fucking dog and your cat. And maybe even your child. Like there's videos of like of coyotes snatching babies out of strollers. And in
Bro,
cities, in big cities. Not like
that sounds
not in the backwoods of fucking Alabama, like in fucking LA. Like big cities like LA. Like snatching
that sounds
babies out of
hilarious. I
strollers.
want to see that.
It's happening, and people will, well, we gotta protect them. Oh my god! Oh my god! No, and coyotes are like the fucking rats of the canine world. Those motherfuckers repopulate faster than fucking rats do. They're all over the place. They're in every single state, every single city in the United States.
Bro, I've
There's
only
not
seen
one city
one
you can go to
coyote
and
and I'm
not find a
so
coyote.
happy.
I see coyotes
Yeah,
all the time.
we have
I have to
we
watch
have
my dog. Now I have to every time we let my dog outside, I have to watch him because he's small. He's a small dog. I have to watch him outside because of how the coyotes are becoming a problem.
see, we don't have to really worry about that as much because hunting over here is like there's no real restrictions. I
Well, there's
think
no restrictions here either.
the only restriction we actually have is it's for fishing crab, which is weird. But
Yeah,
like for hunting and fishing things like that, that's the only real restrictions we have. And coyote population's not as high over here as like where you live.
mm,
So all we really have to worry about is like pissed off deer.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a little bit different over here
yeah. We have
than
a
where you'd
there's
find.
coyote hunting here. Like I mean, I know there's people in my family that coyote hunt. They just go out to hunt and kill coyotes. I mean,
Is
bears
there
have been
some type
getting
of cash
closer
grab?
down, huh?
There's some type of like cash grab for like coyotes and stuff like that.
I'm not sure. There might be. I'm not too big into the hunting scene here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not too big into like the
I'm
hunting
not
here.
really either.
I know people who
Yeah,
go coyote hunting because I mean like farmers, like people who like own farms and deal with
yeah,
them a lot
have to
more.
actually have yeah.
Yeah, they have to worry about it. But I mean, you know, if you have a big dog, like if you have like a fucking you have a big dog, the coyote's not gonna fuck with them because the coyote's small. Like compared to like a golden retriever or like a German shepherd or like any of those like kind of big like aggressive like more aggressive like dogs, they're gonna fucking kill a coyote easily, dude. A pit bull, like a pit bull can take on like wolves pretty easily. You know what I mean? Like it happens.
Yeah,
Like there's like some guy who talked about like how I think it was like a pit bull boxer or something like that. Like one of those kind of dogs, like really tough big dogs. Like
yeah.
took on like 5 wolves and killed them. It was like
Which
it had like a bunch of cuts. Was like like all happy and shit. It didn't care. But I mean, and
yeah,
wolves are huge. I
oh
didn't. You don't realize how big wolves are until like you see a human sitting next to one.
yeah.
They're just like
They're
massive.
big as hell. Well, the thing about coyotes is that they don't like run in packs like a wolf does, though. Like
Yeah.
wolves run in packs. Coyotes are kind of like they're not really on their own, but they don't really you don't see them in packs as much as you'll see
Hmm.
wolves or hyenas,
Yeah.
things like that.
I mean, the coyotes do like kind of stay in groups, but like they don't hunt in groups.
Yeah, but they don't like if they're in a group, it's because that's their like
That's their
how would
mating
you
group.
say it? Yeah, that's their like habitat. That's their
Yeah.
like
That's just who
home.
they fuck. That's
Basically.
just who they
Yeah,
fuck. Like, that's
exactly,
that's
That's just
all
who
it
they
is.
fuck with.
exactly.
Yeah. That's
But
about all it is to them.
yeah, I don't really hunt that much at all. I don't really know much about like the population growth of certain animals and things like that because I don't really
Mm.
have to pay attention to that. I
Yeah.
don't ever the most things I have to worry about over here, like seeing at my house, is like raccoons.
Yeah.
So that's about it for me at least. I don't have to worry about seeing a coyote walk to my front door and snatch up, some
Mm.
shit.
I mean, I've been seeing a lot of hawks recently here because I used to raise rabbits and stuff like that. So like hawks obviously were here
Oh,
because of that. And then
hawks
there's just like
are
like a bunch of
huge.
rabbits. There
Hawks are big as fuck. I did not realize how big a hawk was until I went to a zoo and saw them fuckers.
I see them flying around I see them flying around the sky all the time, especially when my dog's outside. Like they'll be circling my dog and shit. My dog's small enough because like a hawk, like a big hawk can get a goat, like a baby goat pretty easily. That's happened. Like I know my because my a lot of people in my family raise goats. We have goats, and they're like someone in my family said that like they just like they had like baby goats and like a hawk like swooped down and tried to grab one. Like I had it in the air for a second.
That's
It's like
insane.
like
That's something that can fly, can just carry some shit like that.
oh yeah. It's also crazy. Like a mountain lion can carry a 300-pound man up a tree pretty easily as well. And mountain like and then like like not even like a fully grown, like a pretty like decent sized one, like a
Yeah,
smaller. It's fucking
that
like,
I
and
don't
you
know
want to
how
protect those fucking
that
things. You want to
I don't know
you
how
want
the hell that shit came from a cat, or like I don't
yeah
know how it came from a cat, but like that
yeah
went into a cat.
yeah dude yeah. I mean like house cats, bro. They say they kill like billions of like birds and lizards and shit every single
Oh
year.
yeah, yeah.
Billions,
Cats
billions.
are more hunters than you actually think.
Oh yeah, like cats can survive outside pretty easily, but then a hawk will swoop up and kill them, and or like an owl,
Yeah,
like owls will kill cats. Like
owls are big as
that's
shit too.
wild. Like
There's so
there
many
was
other
this.
species that you don't think about.
Oh yeah,
Go
they're
ahead.
small,
Go ahead.
big. There was this guy like on Joe Rogan's podcast that was like he was he was talking about this guy who like watches owls and stuff like that, right? And that like he found an owl's nest and there was like 50 plus like cat collars in the birds and like the owl's nest because like it just
Bro.
killed house
Yeah,
cats. And it was like
that's
collars like saying like the names of the cats. It's fucked. Those things are vicious.
oh yeah.
But like wise. Owls are wise. They wear glasses. Motherfuckers will kill your cat. A big cat. And house cats get pretty fucking big. Like they'll fucking kill that thing. They'll eat it. Like they don't care. Spit out the
Yeah,
bones.
that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. I don't have to, or like I've never seen an owl up in person before,
Hmm.
but like you would watch a video of like an owl, and there's so many birds that like you don't think you're that fucking big and that can carry that much, and
Yeah.
then you see an owl or a hawk, you see a fucking hawk come down, and you almost shit your pants.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think it's a fucking dinosaur from the Middle Ages coming back to you.
What are those vultures? Vultures are fucking
Well,
huge. There was like
they're
Bro,
we have a
massive.
pool in the backyard, and there was like 3 just sitting up on the fucking like edge of the pool. Those things are fucking
nah.
massive, dude. That thing, it looks scary. It looks scary, dude. And they're ugly as shit too. Those things are ugly as fuck, and they're just
Yeah,
fucking massive.
yeah.
Scary as shit.
Just sitting in your backyard like, yo, what's good?
Bro,
Things are
what
bigger
the
than me,
fuck?
dude. Fuck that, man.
That and emus are fucking aggressive. You ever
Oh
went to one
yeah,
of those drive-through zoos, bro? Like
yeah,
you drive,
yeah. As soon
A
as those things
drive
came up,
through
we
zoo?
had to fucking
What?
pull up our
you
thing, like
roll
a
up that
safari
damn
type shit.
window, roll up that damn window. There was one that chased us one time when I was younger. That fucker, he was right beside us. I was like, "How the hell is this?" We were going like 40. How the hell is this thing still here?
I had a family member that owned a llama, and that thing would like spit at you all the time. It would spit at you, spit at you all the time, dude.
Minecraft lessons come in at this point.
That thing was mean. That thing was mean too.
I
It
don't
was
know
an
why,
asshole.
but I want to own a camel.
Camel, bro.
No idea. Yeah, I don't know why. I
I
just want to
think
Average
own one.
person in Ohio.
that same relative also owned a camel as
What
well.
the fuck? Bro,
North
they would
Carolina, man. North
the
Carolina.
camel would come to the States and just be so damn confused. Like, why the hell is there so much water here? I don't even need this goddamn hump anymore. Some bullshit.
You bring enough over here, let them go wild. A few generations, that hump's gonna be
They'll
smaller,
fucking
dude.
box. Yeah, they're gonna start fucking
Those
boxing
turn to
people in the
horses.
water.
Give them a couple thousand years, those be horses. Those be wild horses. They won't need anything, bro. They'll be fine. There's a lot of wild horses here in North Carolina too. I didn't realize that. But like
I
they're
don't
all
think
over
really,
like Outer Banks and like the coast and shit.
I don't really think they have much wild horses over here, or at least ones that I've seen. I don't live
They
that
stay
deep
a
in the
lot on the
country
coast
here.
now. People are like, oh, there's not a lot of wild dude. There's a shit ton here on the coast, bro. So fucking many. You'll see them all the time. I don't see
Yeah,
them where I'm at because they personally stay like on the coast. They like beaches. Horses like beaches, man. They like that water. They like that salty air. They enjoy that shit
exactly.
for some reason. A lot in Outer Banks. A lot on like the islands, like around here, like Emerald Island, shit like that. Around
Dude,
there's
I
a
didn't
lot.
know Outer Banks was an actual place until you mentioned it. Like
Dude, I've been there.
I swear to God, I thought like the fucking what's that show?
The
The
Outer
show
Banks
Outer
show.
Banks. I thought that shit.
It's based on the place.
I thought that shit was fucking just made up. I was like, wait, hold on, this is an actual fucking place. Wait a minute, just like fucking Bojangles. I thought that was like I didn't know what the hell that was until
Love
you
that
mentioned that
place.
shit. I've never had that shit.
It's so good. It's the best place ever, man.
We have such generic shit over here. We don't have anything that's like ours.
Yeah.
Bojangles? What the?
There's a lot of things that are just like North and South Carolina. I mean, Bojangles is like kind of all over the place now,
Yeah.
but it started in North Carolina. Sundrop started in North Carolina. You really only they try to go out there, but they just kind of gave up. Cheerwine is also another like big one. I love Cheerwine. I hate Sundrop, but I love Cheerwine. It's so fucking good. So nice. Such a
Yeah.
the best fucking soda ever, dude. That's terrible for you. Sundrop gives you kidney stones. Like that shit is not good for you.
Man, just give me it. Please just give me it.
Like
One
Sundrop
more
was like
time.
supposed to like be a competitor against like Sprite. It is a big competitor with Sprite here, dude. A lot of people here love Sundrop. Sundrop's everywhere here. There's like 300 plus
Have you
Bojangles
guys
here.
tried Starry?
No, what the
I
fuck
don't
is
know what the
that?
hell it is. Yeah, I don't know
I,
what the fuck
I've
it
I've
is.
heard
Off-brand
like,
Hardee's or something, bro. Like, what the
I've heard people
fuck?
say like, have you ever had Sierra Mist?
Oh, Sierra Mist. Sierra.
I
They replaced that. They replaced Sierra
Yeah, I'm
Mist with
pretty sure they replaced it with the Starry. I'm pretty sure is
Oh,
what they
that's
replaced it with.
Starry. That yeah, that shit. The Starry, whatever the fuck. I tried it. It's decent. It tastes like Sierra Mist. You know, it's just they just rebranded Sierra Mist.
Yeah,
Are
they
these
just
drinks that we're talking about? Is that what we're talking about? Drinks?
Yeah, Sierra
yeah.
Mist is like Sierra Mist is like is like a white like Sprite, because you know how Sprite's like spicy. Like Sierra Mist is like the white like
Would you
Sprite.
just say
The white
Sprite?
the
Fuck that shit.
carbonation in that shit is strong.
You ever had Taco Bell Sprite? That shit is spicy.
Bro,
That
on God.
shit brings waters to my fucking eyes.
Bro, okay. I don't know what it's
Dude,
called, but there's this
Sprite and
thing.
McDonald's, man. That shit, that shit
Bro,
hit
Sprite,
different.
McDonald's,
No, Sprite hits
Chick-fil
different.
is
That shit is
Chick-fil-A a
different. Yeah,
Kentuckian
this shit
thing?
does hit different.
Oh, what?
Do you guys have Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, everywhere has
It-
Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
everyone has Chick-fil-A. We have a
Oh,
Chick-fil-A over here.
frick, it's called Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm so smart.
KFC's
Anyways,
ass now. KFC should have shut down at this point.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I haven't seen anybody go to our KFC in years.
Yeah, there's a KFC near me. There's like maybe like 1 to 2 cars.
well, I thought KFC was specifically in Kentucky. Nah.
No, no, we don't really have any like fast food chains that are like specific to Louisiana,
Yeah.
except for like I guess Popeye's chicken. But
Let's
that's
start
Well,
it there.
Popeyes
It
actually
started
is
there, yeah.
kind of good.
I don't really fuck with Popeyes that much, honestly.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think so. The Cajun rub that they use for over here
Mhm.
isn't the same shit that they use everywhere else.
Yeah,
because they make
probably a
they
lot better
make it
there.
here.
Like the
It's
Bojang,
alright.
yeah, the Bojangles here, like the Bojangles in North Carolina, are way better than like in Georgia and shit, and Alabama. Are way better
Yeah,
here than any other state,
it's
like
gonna be
Tennessee and
better
shit.
at the actual state that you, unless
Oh, yeah.
like they change all the recipes and the same shit, then it's gonna be like McDonald's, dude. I don't know what it is, but their nuggets don't hit like they used to.
I still fuck
Like
with the
if
nuggets.
you,
Facts though. Facts
I still
actually.
fuck with the nuggets though. I can fucking eat. I can eat like 100 of them. Be
it's
fine.
different, man. It's not, they change unless it's just over here. They change the recipe or some shit. 'Cause I
Yeah, I
bit
guess
into
it
that
goes
shit.
by
And I was like, yeah,
state.
this is not childhood.
I think that goes with Wendy's as well, because Wendy's does like local like beef and shit like that. So it probably, I think a lot of it changes per state with
Actually,
like
I've
how it
never
is.
had Wendy's.
Wendy's nuts hitting. No, I'm joking. Nah, but yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I don't know. I don't really like Wendy's that much anymore. But I mean, like definitely, it's weird. I think a lot of that shit goes state by state because they have to like kind of get their food closer to where they're at, and the food quality, like
Yeah.
the quality of like the meat and the vegetables and stuff like that are gonna be different each state.
Big.
Like we have
Did
a
you have
lot of
to
farms here.
do you have to read about that book on the meat industry back in like the what was it, the 1920s or some shit or 1930s in high
No,
school? You never
no,
had to read about that shit?
no.
Do you know like fuck, I can't remember what that book's called. Let me try to find it real quick. But basically it was like hold on, meat industry.
Yeah, factory farming is fucked, dude. Factory farming is fucked. But I mean, it's sad what factory farming is. But I mean,
The
it's
Jungle. That's what it is, The
Mhm.
Jungle. You ever
Yeah.
read The Jungle?
Nah, I didn't read the
Nope.
jungle.
Okay, so basically, it talks about the jungle. It talks about like how meat processing was back in like the early 1900s.
Yeah.
Uh, and the shit that you would see on that like the things that you'd read in that fucking book is crazy. It was like rats would get in the food and they're like, ah, fuck it, it'll be fine. And they just like
Jesus.
combine it with, yeah, it was fucking horrible, dude. It's like
Jesus, man.
sanitary shit was horrible. The smell of like death. There's this YouTuber I watch, I can't remember what his name is, but he does like moto vlogs and shit like that. Well, he lives right next to where the book is basically based off of. And he
Mm.
says that like he said that like you can still go into that little town or like the processing plant and it still smells like death. It just smells like death.
Yeah.
How do you know what death smells like?
I don't know, but like that shit it just smells like death,
It just don't smell right.
Yeah, don't smell
I
too good
guess.
there.
But yeah, that book like outlines like the shit about like that type of shit. I don't know. It just kind of brought to my mind when we were talking about the food industry and things like that of how like
Mhm.
disgusting that shit was back in the day.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's not that great either because McDonald's chicken nuggets is like I forgot what the statistic was, but it was like only like 40% chicken or some shit, and it was like or like breast, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the other shit is from like the neck and like all that type of shit.
Yeah. It's
It's
like
just combined.
it's to like cut costs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which you'll still eat it
Oh
because
yeah.
it tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes pretty fucking good. Yeah.
That shit just hits different.
That's just all food.
Yeah.
You can tell somebody that it's literally made from a cow's asshole and they'll still eat it if it tastes good.
Yeah. I don't
Like
know. it's just factory farming is fucked. As like just overall as a whole, that whole like industry, like that whole like meat industry is kind of fucked. Like there's like a lot of farmers who do grass, like grass raised, grass finished, like type of food,
Yeah,
like free range
yeah.
chickens, pigs, cows. But
That
like,
shit costs so much.
oh yeah, it costs a lot because they have to, because there's a lot more to, because like most of 'em, they're probably not going to be able to be made into meat anyway. A lot of them are not, because they're not, because it's not guaranteed how much meat is going to get off of them either, because they fatten them up in factory farming. They fatten those
Yeah.
motherfuckers up. And plus, if you keep chicken in a tight spot for too long, they'd be eating each other. Like you've seen those videos of like chickens like killing rats and shit. Like you throw a rat in like with some chickens, they're tearing that motherfucker up. They're killing him. They're killing that motherfucker, dude. It's over. Like they'll kill snakes. They'll attack
Oh
anything that
yeah.
you throw into their cage with them. They'll fucking peck at it until it's fucking, like I saw like someone threw like a big rat in there. The rat like got like his skull split open and shit, got thrown around. Blood was everywhere because of like how it was getting hit on the ground. It was fucked, dude. I can't. I would show it to you guys, but I can't. I would get in trouble. It's that graphic.
Yeah, this shit is it's crazy, and then you can tell because like when you go to like Popeyes and get like a fucking breast, it's like it literally is a whole fucking chicken.
Yeah,
It's like a big ass fucking piece of breast. You're like, bro, there's no way this shit is there's
yeah,
no way this shit is farm raised.
yeah. It's they're definitely putting a little bit of something into it. You know what I'm saying? A little into
Fucking
it.
heroin or some shit. They're putting something in them fuckers. They're
Yeah.
getting them fuckers jacked.
Whatever they're giving Biden to keep him alive, they're putting into those fucking
Shit.
chickens, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say they need to give that shit to everybody, apparently.
Yeah. Whatever's
That
keeping
dude
a
is
Biden awake right now, I want that shit, man. I want that shit. Imagine what that'd do to me.
I feel like I feel like he just takes a lot of fucking Xanax or some shit.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like he just
definitely.
pops pills constantly. He'll go up to the stage and he's like, It's like,
What's
come on,
that
buddy, you
unicorn
got
doing?
yeah. When I was a child, we used to have cucumbers. Now they're just called big green apples. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? What the fuck are you going on about?
Kids used to play with my leg hair all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I love it when the little children just play with my leg hair. What the fuck are you giving? What the hell are you giving him before these fucking interviews? What is happening right now? The economic system in this country is amazing. It's great. It's like, look again. Go ahead and
Yeah.
look back at your notes. I think
Yeah.
you read the teleprompter wrong. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I feel bad for whoever has to like do the lying for him. Like the who is the person? What do they call him? Not the Speaker of the House, but like the person who does the press conferences. Who is that person called again?
I think that is the Speaker of
Oh,
the House.
Speaker of the House. Yeah, that I feel bad for that person. I feel bad for whoever works for him. They have to lie constantly. They have to pretend like they like him, dude.
Yeah,
They have to
dude, they just go on
pretend.
the stage and like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and introduce the
Like that
oh
one
fuck,
black
the
lady.
president.
That one black lady, dude. She looks so miserable. She looks so miserable, man.
Have
She
you
couldn't even
seen the
keep her own
video?
lies up too much, bro.
Have you seen the video of him getting off the fucking helicopter and they're like pointing in different directions for him to go and he just keeps on passing it up? He, he just walks to their back pool. It's like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing? He's like, all right, you're gonna turn left. You're gonna turn left. Three more steps. Three more steps. He just walks past them.
They have they have five like a Secret Service people trying to help him. Mr.
The
President,
holding
Mr. President,
fucking
that's not
hand.
where you go. Ice cream's over here. The ice cream's over here.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking. He would get lost. He would get absolutely lost in a big city. It would be fucking terrible. Like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna go give give the president. We're gonna let the president drive this time. We're not gonna let him sit in the back seat and wave. We're gonna let him drive this time. He's gonna be in Dallas because he was supposed to be in like LA or some shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's
If,
like,
Bro,
if,
how
that,
do
if
you
they want
mess
to
it
get
up
rid of him,
that bad?
if they
Just
want to get rid
use
of
like
him,
GPS or something.
if they want to get rid of him, let him drive alone. That's the easiest way to get rid of that
I'm gonna
dude.
be honest with you. He's so damn retarded. He's so stupidly creative that he would find a Bojangles in New York. Like it would be
Yeah.
crazy.
Bro,
Yeah.
what?
He's that
Some
man
crazy shit
is
would happen, man.
that man is yeah, he's something else. Yeah, I do feel bad for the Speaker of the House.
Man is just built like that, bro.
I feel bad for everybody that is like I don't, it's because he's so fucking old and shit. Like I feel like there should be an age limit for who should be president. and stuff like that.
Bro, you know how old Trump is and then how old his wife is?
Oh yeah, it's pretty. Isn't it a big gap?
Bro,
Pretty big
it's
gap.
massive.
Yeah, it's a
He's like
massive gap.
70 and she's like 50 something, I'm pretty sure.
She's in her 40s or 50s or some shit like that.
I just want a
Bro,
president who
she's
can speak a sentence. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need right now. I think
I
that's
or a
all this
say
country
president that
needs.
isn't orange.
Trump was a good businessman, but like for morale to the country, he wasn't that great.
If he just didn't
Um,
tweet, he would have people would have liked him more. I feel like
yeah,
personally I liked him because of like how the economy was running, our relationships with other
oh my
countries was
god,
pretty
dude.
well. We everything was going pretty well. It's just people like were upset. Like people want to overlook like the like other things because Orange Man make me sad. Wah. Like
Yeah,
that's the only thing people cared about was their shitty little pussy ass feelings. Like he was doing good for the
yeah.
economy was at his peak with him. We were at his peak.
Fast as a
We were
dollar
causing less
14 miles.
conflicts. There was a whole lot less drone strikes. There's a whole lot less missiles being shot. A whole lot less death in the Middle East during him. There was peace talks in the Middle East during him. Something that you would have thought would happen. Peace in the Middle East. Who would have thought Trump having peace in the Middle East, not winning a Nobel Peace Prize, but Obama winning a Nobel Peace Prize after like 90% of the people that he killed with drone strikes and missiles were innocent people. Innocent people.
Yeah.
Even our own people. I mean,
And it's kind of
Biden's doing the
crazy.
same exact thing right now. All the drone strikes, most of the people that are getting killed are innocent people. And
And it's kind of
Trump did
crazy.
like one or two like drone or missile strikes. I can't believe he did this. Blah 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 blah. Like he just killed people. Blah blah blah. He's a killing machine. He just wants to kill everybody. Like it's like I don't get it. Not as many.
Bro, the
It's a whole
nuclear
lot
pod go
less.
crazy though.
Well, the dumbest thing, like I think pulling out of the Middle East was stupid.
The way we did it
Not
was really stupid. The way
yeah,
we
the
did
way
it.
that we did it was stupid is what I mean. Doing it all at one time that fast, we left millions, probably billions of military equipment
The-
behind.
this is conspiracy theory, but I mean, this is people understand military industrial complex. Basically, the military industrial like people in power starting wars for money. Like I mean, the whole like war, like the whole us being in the Middle East is for fucking money. Most of it's for
Yeah,
money.
it's for oil.
It's for oil and like
Most of it
money,
was
dude.
for oil
So
and product like that.
yeah, like so I mean we're over there, we leave stuff. We pull all the troops out. We leave the people that helped us out that are in like there's people that live there that are in danger because we left them there because they helped us out. They were like
Yeah.
informants for us. They were spies for us. And now we just left them there to fucking die, to get killed. Women are being killed because they're trying to have an education. We just pull out everything, but we leave all of our weapons there.
Which is
Like if we were to pull out like that, we're gonna take the weapons with us. Why would we leave the weapons there so that they can take it and use the weapons against us? Oh, now we have to go back, guys. We have to start another 30-year war because oh they have our weapons and they're killing innocent people. I guess we got to go back, guys. Sorry. Darn it, we got to go back to war again. They want the
yeah.
war. They want war. They wanted to stay there. They're just pulling everybody out and leaving our weapons there so that they can come back harder and do the same shit over and over again. Destroy a country, try to rebuild it. Even if it's for the good intentions for women being safer there and women being able to get an education and not having to worry about like people like not worrying about like these strict laws that they're trying to enforce over there. I understand that, but I mean, a lot of it's just for money. Like they're like not all of it's just for that good intention. If all was for the good intention, we wouldn't still be there. We wouldn't still be like just only protecting oil. Because every time, because whenever we were over there, guess what we were protecting? Oil. Nothing else. Just the
Yeah.
oil places. Just like the stuff where we're getting oil out. That's the only thing we were protecting.
Which is kind of dumb, like if you think about it, because we left so much military equipment, like billions of dollars on military equipment there,
Mhm.
and pulled out so fast, and then we were so eager to send billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Whenever
Like
there's plenty of problems here
fast
that
as hell.
needs to be fixed. There's probably
Yeah,
problems just here
exactly.
alone that need to be fixed. Policing needs, like, there needs to be a police reform. They need to be pay more money. There needs to be put more money to training. There should be like there should be way more money put into training and way more money given to police officers. And there's home
Yeah,
like the easiest way to fix the homeless fucking crisis right now is either A, you go to jail, or B, you get help, and give them incentives to want to do better, to get to have their own room. We'll help you get a job. We will help you get an education. We'll help you get clean from drugs. If you have mental health problems, we'll make special facilities for you so that you can get taken care of, so you don't have to live on the streets, and that you don't have to take drugs. You can like get better help. You can have better help, and it's not going to cost that much money because there's abandoned buildings everywhere, all over the country. There's abandoned buildings. You can easily just remodel them, or even failing like hotels. You can just like rent out all the rooms in failing hotels and motels and shit like that. Remodel that and give them money. So that's also creating jobs for people that work in hotel businesses. You know what I mean? We're going to be creating jobs, helping struggling people get their life back together, and we'd be overall fixing the country, fixing certain problems within the country so easily, just with a
yeah.
couple billion
But
dollars.
if you think about it like that, it does kind of make sense from that standpoint. But so for some reason the US is very, very eager to donate money to other countries, but not use it for this country.
Mm,
And it's because we have nowhere to pull out from. So
yeah,
let's say that we sent Ukraine that much money because we got that money from NATO,
yeah,
from the members of NATO. They combined money and then sent it to Ukraine. But because we don't get money from NATO, because we spend, or any other country, because we have already borrowed so much fucking money from other countries, that we don't really have anything left to actually, I guess, like, use for the US. If you
hmm,
think about it like this, when when you when you spend money, or like when the government spends money in the US, they're spending from their reserve, right?
hmm,
But when we send money overseas, we're not sending it from our reserve. So they're trying to keep as much reserve as they can because the US dollar is plummeting right now.
yeah,
So that's why they're so hesitant on using it for new job opportunities and things like that. And also, when you create so many new jobs, there's so much money that's going into it that that could fuck up the economy. It's kind of fucked up to say, but it's almost better for us to not have more job opportunities right now than create more job opportunities for other people. It's fucked up to say, but it's kind of true.
yeah,
And that's where it's like the right thing to do. The right thing to do is gonna fuck over a lot of people, especially the people that just got those new, quote unquote, like, new jobs.
yeah,
Basically, if everybody worked in the US and everybody was making minimum wage, or like most of the people were making minimum wage or just a bit above that, it would plummet the economy. It would be fucked. It would be really bad. So that's why, with Trump going into the office saying that he's creating so many new jobs, he did create a lot of jobs, but it was off the profit margins of not creating jobs for low end, but creating jobs for high end. He was
yeah,
creating jobs for like middle class, which would be like $80,000 to $100,000 a year.
mm,
That's the type of jobs that he was creating. He wasn't creating McDonald's employees, or he wasn't creating Target employees, which is, nothing is wrong with that at all, but
yeah,
that is a lower end job or a lower paying job than something to do with like an operator or surgeon or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I
So
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't know, cuz I feel like there
I don't think
should
it's
be,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think whenever kind of not like I'm kind of going a little bit off topic, but it's like like the government funded shit, like where you get paid like from the government to like sit at home and do
Yeah, yeah,
nothing
yeah,
because you're like unemployed and shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That
Welfare.
causes laziness. Welfare causes laziness. Like
Yeah,
within the black community alone, like I mean it kind of builded like a whole, it kind of put in the mindset of the black community of like, oh, let's not work because the government will pay us. type shit, and
Yeah.
that's wrong because it was made to fuck over the black community. It has been proven, like the welfare system has been made to fuck over the black community, and kind of like keep them away, like keep them in the inner cities and these shitty areas in the hood areas, keep them in these
Yeah.
areas to fuck them over long term, generation after generation. That's why inner cities get worse and worse every single year. You never see an inner city get fixed. You never see it happen.
Yeah.
And you see people leaving inner cities and not coming back and helping either. Because I mean, why would you want to whenever everything around you is about selling drugs and not finding a job and just being lazy? Because the government will pay you. The government will give you money. You'll be fine because the government helps you.
Yeah, and that's a like a good point. But even if so, let's say what is welfare? It depends on who you are. They pay out whatever. But let's say that
Mhm.
the average welfare pays you around 1,500 to 2 grand a month or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, even if there was new jobs created um that they could work, they would still be getting paid just as much. It's just the income would be different. The government would still be technically paying them, but not directly, if that makes sense. It
Yeah.
would still come out of the government, but it wouldn't directly come from, it wouldn't be a check from the government. So it'd be the same situation, and it'd be kind of the same situation, except what really needs to happen and what I really truly believe needs to happen is make make college more affordable, make it free or some shit like that.
Well, that's the
Make
reason why college is so expensive is because of student loans. Banks
Mhm.
banks allowing people to 18-year-olds to take out fucking loans. Your brain isn't fully developed until you're like fucking 25, and
Mhm.
you're letting children take out hundreds of $1,000s of loans. That's why the
Mhm.
pricing of school went up because these schools seen, oh, these kids are just gonna take out fucking loans. Let's fucking double, triple the price. Let's go up every single year. And I mean, these
Yeah.
colleges can easily profit off of like letting 90% of their students go there for free. You know, like a lot of these like
Yeah.
higher end schools can like easily 90% of the students that go to these high end colleges can easily just go there for free, full ride, free for 4 years, and the school will still make a shit ton of money. The school will profit, not
Yeah.
like that they're not losing money. They're not going to lose money off of it, but you allow banks to fuck you allow there's a lot of and this goes into lobbying, like people giving a bunch of money to political parties so that they benefit in the long term. Like banks fucking lobby for Republicans and Democrats equally, and you see them getting bailed out and bailed out and bailed out, but billions of dollars are being lost, billions of dollars going misplaced. We'll bail you out, man. You're falling apart. You're a bank. You're falling apart. $1 trillion. You'll be fine. We'll bail you out. We'll get you out of here. And and it's just the whole banking system and the whole lobbying and shit is so corrupt and so evil. And it's such it's fucked. It's really bad. And I mean, I'm not it's bad in this country, but like imagine how it is in other countries.
Yeah,
Imagine how bad it
exactly.
is like in China or Russia or Ukraine, like in these very corrupt countries. Imagine how bad it
Yeah.
is there.
And it's kind of like when you go to the bank and you ask for money and things like that,
Mhm.
or ask for a loan, that money is coming from the people that have loans and or not have loans but save money and things like that, like the entrance build a insurance, fuck me, the the interest build up for like a savings account, like
Mhm.
like if you have some banks, if you have a savings account or something like that, you have to pay so much to keep that savings account going or keep that checking account going, things like that.
Yeah.
That's where that money gets pulled from for the loans, most of the time. So if a bank would to, let's say a bank, a
Sort
college
my
would
fault.
ask the bank would ask the bank, I want this amount of money to run this school year so that we can have fair education for the students, right?
Yeah.
What the bank would have to do was they would have to almost loan out from the federal government more money to go into to the schools,
Mhm.
basically. So it would just be a back and forth of the bank owes money to the government, but the government owes money to the bank as well.
Yeah.
It just it really it wouldn't even out. So what I think they should do is instead of having a doctor's degree in this shit in this type of category be like $150,000 fucking dollars for like a 12-year schooling program, cut it to try to cut it to half of that, because most of the shit that the school pays their money for isn't
Hmm.
for the students.
Yeah.
And it isn't even for the staff. It's for ridiculous and dumb shit. The only thing that is
Especially
keeping
sports.
this, yes,
Sports are a big
the
thing.
the only thing that is keeping the schools alive, or the donators that that give the schools money for scholarships.
Hmm.
That's the only thing that makes a profit for the school, as you can say, like a quote unquote profit for the school.
Yeah.
So it's just a really weird situation to be in, to have school for free, because most high schools are like damn near free unless you go to like a charter school or like a prep school or a private school.
Yeah.
Most high schools are free, or if they do have expenses, it's
That's
like a
the
hundred
public
dollars or
school
some
system
shit.
is very fucked as well. If you think
Yeah,
about it, like I mean, that's why like a lot of people are just homeschooling their kid, and if they can't afford it, putting their kids in private school. Because I mean, you're gonna get a legitimate education in private school compared to public school because the teachers actually care. And
yeah,
because I mean, in public school, like if you're a teacher, you're getting paid dog shit. There's McDonald's workers making more than you, and you're educating
mhm,
the youth that's gonna be in power one day. There's like a teacher's making like fucking shit money, probably trying to teach like the next president of the United States. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a fucked up system, and there should be more money pumped into the public school system. But I know it's gonna they're not gonna do that because there's no money in that for them. There's no money in that for the government. No, if
yeah,
there's
no,
not a if the government's not gonna be able to corrupt their way through it, like if the government's not gonna be able to be corrupt and be able to make money off of it, they're not gonna fucking care and do it. And that's the problem because we elect these we don't know people's intention. It's hard. We're all people. I mean, you know what I mean? Like people are
yeah,
evil, people are stupid, people are bad. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and I'm not saying everybody that's in the government's only in it for the money and is like insider trading and shit, but a lot of them are like a lot of Democrats, a
yeah,
lot of Republicans, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's husband is like better at stock trading than the billionaires, like top billionaires in the world. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's kind
yeah,
of it's kind of suspicious. You know what I'm saying? Whenever there are government officials like passing laws to help certain like businesses, to help certain companies, to help certain like things out. Like I mean, like you pass a law talking about electric vehicles and you invest in a Tesla the next day, like obviously you're gonna fucking make more money because you're passing laws to fucking let these things happen. You're passing laws to where like you're passing laws to where you're gonna benefit off of it, and and that's why lobbying is such a big thing. That's why like fucking Ford is gonna fucking give the Democrats and Republicans like hundreds of millions of dollars gonna donate. Like, hey, how about we're gonna do electric vehicles. How about you pass a law to have electric vehicles become more
yeah,
common? Do more of that. You know what I'm saying? You can invest into our stock with this money. You know what I'm saying? Like help us out, we help you out, type shit. And that's what's gonna happen.
yeah.
That's just how that
It,
shit works.
yeah, and it's I don't know. It's a weird place to be in when your government cares more about profit than the people that are in it. Like than the
Yeah.
people than the society that they run, basically.
Hmm.
Um like you said, those types of laws that gets passed and things like that, they're not really benefiting anybody but the government and the company. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it's not really, because we're at a point like with this whole climate change bullshit and things like that. Um, it's irreversible. It really is. There's nothing we
Yeah.
can really do to reverse the effects that is happening.
If in 10 years we really were like the planet really were to die in 10 years because of climate change, then why are we still trying to fucking fix it? And because in 10, it's going to take us thousands of years to fix the problem. Not going to take us 10,
Yeah,
not going to take us 10 years. But like these people, like these, like AOC and Greta Thunberg are like, in 10 years, we're going to die. Like, okay, if that was the case, then why are you talking? Like, why do you care? Why are you trying to solve the problem? Because if dude, it's not gonna, we're not gonna be able to fix it in 5 years. It's not like, oh, we're gonna
yeah.
fix it last second. We're gonna be okay. It's gonna take us 9 years and 363 days to get it done, and then we're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
1 day left, we're fine. Like, if that's not how that shit works, it's gonna take so
And
fucking long. And either
when
way,
you
climate change is gonna fucking happen if we're here
exactly,
or not.
that's exactly what I was
We're,
about
we're
to say.
technically supposed to be in an ice age right now. We're stopping an
Yeah.
ice age from happening. Like that's like our
So
carbon footprint is stopping an ice age. We would be fucking living with the woolly mammoths right now if it wasn't for us
yeah.
fucking heating up the earth. But it's still
So yeah,
bad.
what I was about to get into was that the climate change shit about like the polar ice caps melting and things like that, that's technically supposed to happen. So
Yeah.
I forgot how many years it is, but we're quote unquote overdue, just like we were quote unquote overdue for the fucking Yosemite Park volcano to erupt, or not the Yosemite, the Yellowstone Park or some shit like that to erupt. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, that's not gonna erupt, but whatever. Every whatever so years it is, the 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 poles switch.
Yeah.
So instead of it being cold and like icy all the way in the north, it actually flips.
Yeah.
It becomes like things start to melt. The ice starts to melt because of that type of shit, and people
Yeah.
are referring to that as the climate change shit, which technically, if you want to be technical, it's actually happening faster than it should be, blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's kind of supposed to happen because scientists say that there's a chance that there's some type of tropical jungle under all that ice.
Oh yeah, and
um
Antarctica. Yeah, they say
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's every like like in even in like the Sahara Desert, like every few
Hmm.
thousand years it goes from like a jungle to like desert. Like every few
Yes.
thousand years, like whenever the Egyptians were there making the pyramids and the Sphinx and shit, there was lush green everything. There was like it looked like the fucking rainforest. It was fucking
Yeah.
beautiful. But now it's desert because every few thousand years it changes because of climate change, because of the pole
Yeah.
switching and that's I mean with we're supposed to be in an ice age right now. So right now we're supposed to be in an ice age. After the ice age is done, Sahara Desert will be lush and green. And then after a few thousand
Hmm.
years, it will die out because there's going to be no rain there because rain is not supposed to happen there. Like
Yeah.
it's not supposed to happen. So that's why it's green after the ice age, and after the ice age is done, and after a few thousand years after that, it's gonna go back to being fucking dust and shit. And the it's gonna heat up here, and it's gonna cool. It's gonna heat. It's gonna cool. We're just stopping the
Yeah.
cooling effect right now. It's still gonna be a
Yeah.
few thousand years because in a few thousand years, once the ice age is supposed to be over, we're still heating up the earth. We're gonna be fucked. We're gonna be fucked. That
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but we're not gonna. I mean, we should still try to fix it. We should still try to fix the problem. You know what I mean? We shouldn't pollute. We shouldn't. We should try. We should try to stop things, but we should try to stop these things from happening. But we got to go to these poor countries first. We like. I mean, like United States. We're not the fucking problem. These poor ass countries are the problem. These
Yeah.
countries where overpopulation, like in India and China, they're the problem. Very poor countries where there's a majority poor people, they're the problem. We need to go there and try to fix that. We need to fucking lift up those countries, do our best to lift up those countries, and help them economically and just like help those countries to stop this pollution and shit. We
Yeah.
can solve the
Which
problem, but I mean it's just going to take a while. And we have time right now. We're supposed to be in an ice age. We're good right now. We have the time to. The world's not going to end in 10 years because of climate change.
yeah, no, it's definitely not. In which um I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something.
Yeah, my
I can't
bad.
even fucking remember. No, 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 you're good. I had it up until like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah. I go off on
But
tangents a lot.
you're good. But I was gonna say like even if climate change, even if pollution's happening, things like that, it's hard to it's there's no way that we can stop it.
Yeah.
100% there's no way because even if we change all our vehicles to electric and things like that, there's still things that run off of fossil fuels, that run
Mhm.
off of things that pollute the air. To
Electric
make those
cars
electric
run
cars,
off of coal
yeah,
plants. So like,
exactly.
I mean, it's
To
just like,
make those cars, they run off of coal plants to
I mean,
bring
nuclear
heat
power
to
is
your
like the
home.
cleanest. Is the cleanest kind of
Yeah,
form of energy, and a lot of countries are turning away from it, and they're getting fucked right now. Those countries are fucked. Like Germany is fucked right now because of the war in Ukraine, and then they turned away from nuclear power, and they were relying on Russia for their energy. And now people are fucking freezing to death in their houses because no nuclear plants to help power their houses. And nuclear
yeah.
is clean. Nuclear is extremely, especially
Mm,
now. And if they keep it up to date, it's pretty clean compared to the coal and fossil fuels. It's very clean compared to those. Especially if you do it right and update it. That was the problem before. We weren't updating anything. We were keeping everything old. We weren't storing the waste right. There was a lot of problems, but we can
yeah.
easily fix it. We can easily make it better, cleaner. Especially now, it's a lot cleaner. A lot of
Which
places are turning over to nuclear energy, and they're going in the long run, they're going to be a lot better because of it.
which nuclear power is cleaner for the environment per se.
Hmm.
It's not better for us. Because the nuclear radiation that comes from those power plants are so powerful that if one would to go up, it would be Chernobyl 2.0, but worse because of how much we actually use now. So there
Yeah,
is a risk in using that type of things.
that's why you got to keep those
Um,
things up to date. You can't. That's why you
exactly.
got to figure out. That's why you got to have ways to turn it off so you can update it. That's why, like, because that was the problem. That was the problem with Chernobyl. Everything was out of date, and there was no way to
Hmm.
turn it off. Now we have the technology to be able to update it and be able to turn it off and turn it back on. We have that technology now. We understand
Yeah.
more because that shit's gonna like. There's gonna be trial and errors and everything. the
Yeah.
the error might be really fucking bad, making it to where you still can't live in the place now, and you probably won't be able to for the next few thousand years. But that's better in the long run for us because we understand where we learned from that. We learned from that
Yeah.
mistake, and we're able to update and make better technology for nuclear energy and make it a lot cleaner
Yeah.
and make it a lot safer for everybody.
Yeah. It's there's always going to be a risk going into something that is new.
Mhm.
Um, just like with the Tesla cars and things like that, I'm surprised there's not more accidents with the autopilot feature
Yeah.
because it is such a new concept and the technical realm of things, it is such a new concept for vehicles. It was always kind of a thing with let's say airplanes and things like that, and the sense of it could relocate you to a certain area
This is
with
Blaine, by the
that
way,
type of
everyone.
things.
Sorry, Irvin.
What's up?
It's not no. Someone was asking who you were. This is Blaine. I
Oh,
don't know if you
okay.
know who he is, Irvin, but yeah, he's a YouTube viewer of mine.
But but yeah, there's always going to be risks towards those types of things, and like I said, I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't faulted because we've never really taken technology like that to this extreme.
Yeah.
Um, of other people being on the road, people are not great drivers sometimes, and I'm surprised
Especially here.
that technology hasn't failed and hasn't had a recall of big proportions just yet. So honestly, hands down to Tesla because they are actually doing shit
They
kind of right
do
now.
they do a lot of testing before they let stuff out though. They understand. I mean, they're still doing testing right now for it, make it better.
Yeah.
They only like they make it expensive to get those certain features too so that dumbasses don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
idiots don't get that shit. But I mean, even then, those people that do get it are like very cautious. But I mean, I've seen people here like fucking on their phones and sleeping, like
Oh,
driving their Teslas around the autopilot and shit.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
kind of stay a
Yeah.
little bit away from it, but it's like it's cool because I mean, it seems to be working fine for them. I still see those people driving around today. Those same people. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
they're alive. I guess they're okay. Same Tesla, as before. They're fine.
It,
It's
it's
working.
just really risky to put your all your faith into something that isn't
Isn't fully
manually
done yet.
controlled by, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially something that is that is so new to you
Hmm.
or new to us in general. Like autopiloted cars or like self-driving cars are so new to us that I can't remember what the statistic was, but it was like Tesla and the time that fucking coal powered trains went from coal to just like diesel basically
Hmm.
is more time than what we went from diesel to electric.
Yeah.
That's how fast it progressed. And now that we have an electric car that can drive by itself, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's
So
also like this is gonna be again off topic, but that's also crazy is that like we think that we're like so much more advanced, but we don't know how other civilizations were. Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like the pyramids and stuff like that, they're way older than what they've been saying they are. They're not a few thousand years; they're like tens of thousands of years old. And there's been
yeah.
mass extinctions and proven mass extinctions multiple times throughout our history. I mean, there's been like I said, like we were talking about before with climate change. There's been the cooling of an Earth, like the ice age. That's probably killed off so many fucking people, killed off so many animals, like different species of shit that we'll never see, that we'll never know about.
Yeah.
Like we'll probably never even find the bones because of how many times this shit has happened. Mass
Yeah.
extinctions. I mean, they say like every few thousand years there's like meteors that fucking destroy the earth. That's what we think happened to the dinosaurs. How many times has that happened? How many advanced civilizations have there? There's probably a civilization that figured out time travel, but they just got wiped
Mm,
out. You know what I mean? Like we like there's shit that happens. You know what I mean? Like mass extinctions. There's probably more advanced civilizations than us. There's probably a time in our history whenever we were far more advanced than we are now, and we will never know. We will never know that because of
well,
just how we get hit all the time. Every few thousand years, how hard we get hit from meteors and shit and
I'm gonna
extinctions.
I'm gonna not argue on the topic, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a different stance for that topic
Mm.
because so you know what carbon dating is, right?
Yeah, carbon dating.
Okay, so because we have that type of thing, we know that this happened in this time period and this happened in this time period. Yes, it could be off by a couple of thousand years or so, but the extinctions of the dinosaurs and things like that, those were millions of years ago.
Hmm.
But there were species there were species of dinosaur millions of years before that. Um, so when you're looking at it like that, the fossils that we find are pretty evident to know that what we actually have. To say that there was technical like more advanced civilizations than what we are is a little bit off
Well,
throwing
probably for
just
what they
because.
had. For what
Yeah,
they
that's
had.
okay. That's
You
what
know
I
what I
was
mean?
gonna
Like
say. What
not
for
like
what
I'm not
they
saying like, they were fucking like flying cars. Like there was like they were advanced, like far more advanced for what they had and for what the
they
knowledge that they had.
what I would
Like
put
shit
it
that'd probably
is
help us now in reality.
they weren't as advanced, but they were definitely smarter.
Yeah.
They knew exactly how to do things with what they had, especially with the pyramids.
Well, there's
A
pyramids
lot of
all
people
around the world, and like they're exactly the
exactly.
same, but like there would have been no possible way for them to communicate. So like there probably was some form of communication across these countries, across these continents, because there's no way in Mexico, like people in like was now Mexico, were over there talking to Egyptians, like, oh yeah, like so this is what you did, this is the material that you used, this is how you did it. Like there's no possible way. They must have had some form of communication because there's like every continent there are pyramids. Almost every continent there's like
Yeah,
some form of pyramids, which is
yeah,
fucking wild.
exactly.
So who knows what they had
Um,
before?
it is wild when you think of it like that, but you have to also think about the time periods that they were built.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people will say that the pyramids in Egypt and things like that, they were built way before the pyramids that were in Mexico.
Mhm.
Um, so the crossing of information, yes, they had to communicate somehow, or at least a word of a word of a word, like the game telephone
Yeah.
is basically what I'm thinking happened. Because there is a lot of similarities in it, but there's also a lot of time difference. And species or people in general can get around very quickly. So for it to be like 200 to 300 years split in between those pyramids, that's a lot of time for communication. When they talk about uh people discovering new territory in this war on Earth and things like that,
Hmm.
um, they mean they mean as of what we knew at the time, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there was people living in every single continent way before anybody quote unquote found that continent, basically. Um,
Hmm.
so we have to assume that they traveled around the world, or at least groups traveled around the world and spread word of word of word. Um, so yes, there probably was communication there, but it's not as direct as you probably think.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
yeah. I mean, like with North and South America, like people got here through Siberia. You know, like where
Yeah,
Russia and Alaska meet. They say
yeah,
there used to be like a land bridge right there where animals and humans crossed to get to here. And you know, people from because there's a direct like DNA like connection from like Native
yeah,
Americans here to Siberians and
hmm,
Russia. Like there's a direct like Asian kind of like correlation between these people. So they got here
yeah,
from there, come here, settle here. There's probably like a group. There's probably groups of humans here that they killed off, like the Europeans
hmm,
did to them. I mean, but we don't know that though. We could probably find it out. Probably could find out, but how will we find out? Because I mean,
exactly,
we almost fully erased their history pretty quickly. We Europeans
exactly.
erased their history here. French erased their history up north. Spain
Hmm.
erased their history down south. I mean, we came here originally, and we're looking at the Aztecs. We come back a little bit later. No one's there anymore, so we don't know much. Like they were gone by the time we got back and started settling.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the time we're never gonna know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And that's why when scientists say things like that, like we're probably never gonna know exactly what happened. That's where all these theories come from and things like that, and that's where like false information gets spread.
Yeah.
Or information that might not be right, that sounds crucial at the time, and it
Mm-hmm.
might impact us in the future if we spread that false information. That's why I don't really like conspiracy theories that much,
Mm-hmm.
especially on the geographic and science,
That's the thing with
field
science
around it.
people. That's the thing with science and history people. They don't want to admit whenever they're wrong. There's like a big
Yeah,
problem within those communities. Like they will say something and then later on it'll be proven false and they get mad and say no. Like they there's a lot of problem with them admitting when they're wrong, especially within science and medical and historical and like all those like kinds of like groups of people. Like there's a lot of a lot of like not want to take responsibility for when they were wrong or whenever they rush
yeah,
certain things, which is a problem. But I mean, it's a big problem, but those groups are very important.
yeah. And I get that, and it's that's just a human nature.
Yeah,
You don't want to admit when you're wrong because it just
it
it's
feels
kind of like
bad.
embarrassing, I guess.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels bad.
But most scientists, for what I would see, most scientists, when they're proven wrong with hard facts, they would take a different stance. They would say, okay, yeah, I fucked up on that one.
Yeah.
There's this guy on YouTube that I don't know his name, but he posts things about debunking theories and things like that, like conspiracy theories and theories that just are wrong, basically. And he
Yeah.
basically debunks them, and he has a master's degree in that type of realm from going to college and things like that.
Mm.
And and so a lot of the information that people say, like the pyramids were like crazy ass things, like the pyramids were made by aliens or some bullshit like that, or they had, yeah,
That shit's
shit like
funny.
that people say. It's just mind boggling. Like the pyramids are most likely made from pulleys.
Hmm.
um that's what the running theory is right now.
Hmm.
The most logical theory was they were made by pulleys. They would craft these blocks on the ground, and they would have some type of hoist, and they would have a rope
But
going over a
they
big
were like
structure.
hundreds of thousands of miles away from where they brung them too, which is crazy. Like they say, like a lot of like the rocks that they used to build the pyramids were like thousands of miles away from where they brung it
Yeah,
to.
but it also took hundreds of years to build it.
Oh yeah, But they definitely had some kind of technology to help them that we may not know about now. Like like certain things, like what you said, like we understand what that is, but they probably had more than that we don't know. That
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
got wiped out from history.
they probably had more than maybe that, but
Hmm.
you also
But
have to
shit can also
understand
get
that
easily wiped from history pretty easily. I mean, we wiped
yeah,
the
yeah.
Aztecs out and we didn't even do anything. We didn't even go in and kill them. They just died from disease
Well,
that we brought
the
through.
Aztecs are I'm gonna touch on the Mayans now. So the Aztecs were probably killed by disease, most
Hmm.
likely, and that probably was brought on to a strand that was not known at the time. Obviously, they didn't have the medical facilities to really know what the hell was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but like the Mayans and things like that, how everybody says they just disappeared out of nowhere. Most
I don't think they
likely they
just
just
disappeared. They probably died
well,
off and moved away. Like some of them died and some of
I
them
was
moved
about to
away.
say, most likely they split into different tribes.
Yeah, like I
That
mean,
was very
after we
common back
got
then.
yeah, probably once we got into contact, we probably some died off because of disease, and the rest of them kind of just left, and probably split
Yeah,
off and went to probably deeper into South America,
yeah,
or just like just
exactly.
kind of just yeah, just dipped, like traveled on boat to somewhere else, like going to like Hawaii, maybe, like you know what I mean, like that
Yeah.
happens a lot. I mean, you see it like you find islands and stuff. You see where these and you realize these people are from like Africa or like Asia and stuff, and they just left and they created like their own like group of people and these islands. Like that's what Hawaii is. Hawaii is like just Asian people that left and found a bunch of islands in the middle of nowhere and just
Yeah.
settled there and created their own thing there.
And a lot of people don't really understand the amount of dedication people have towards type of things, especially back then, because a lot of people are confused on how the Mayans made the calendar.
Mm.
For example, people think that they somehow they knew something gave them information and things like that. But you got to understand that
Aliens,
uh,
man.
let's be honest with each other. Me and you compared to them back then are very lazy. We're
Yeah,
very lazy. We can literally click on our phone right now and it's 8:32.
yeah,
So that's how easy it is to tell us our time, right? Back then they didn't have that. They had to go off of sunlight and shadows,
yeah,
and they found a system. Most likely that's how everything happened. You just find a system that works. You find something that actually works. Um, like sculpting out and building the pyramids or sculpting out and building other things that we found. You just find a system and work on it, and you know over time it's going to happen. I don't know how people are like so amazed that the pyramids are built without any type of like modern day technology, but they were built over hundreds of years. We
yeah,
can build a skyscraper in two,
yeah.
and people are just fine with that because of the modern technology.
Hmm.
But a lot of the confusion of all that shit comes from a timeline. They don't understand the timeline that it happened.
Yeah,
um So when you're looking at the pyramids and things like that, it took hundreds of years to build it. That's a long ass time, dude.
yeah,
That's that's a long. Even if they had to fucking drag that shit themselves, they could probably do it in 100 fucking years. Let's be
yeah,
honest with each other. So those types of things of like they knew a higher power. There's something gave them that damn information, or they knew something like with the asteroid
Martians.
shit.
Those
Yeah,
Martians,
exactly,
man.
Martians. It had to be Martians.
Hard to be
But
Martians, bro.
with the with like the asteroid shits,
With
like
their
they keep on
mind,
saying,
with their mind controlling abilities.
oh yeah, they gave them super strength and they just actually flew the blocks over there and they just built it
Super
in like
speed.
15 seconds. It was fine.
Yeah,
It
super
was
speed,
cool.
dude. They're like Superman everywhere, dude.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. It couldn't be anything like logical. It had to
Yeah.
be that. But yeah, with that type of shit, it just a lot of people get confused about timelines, and I think that's most of the archaeological things that come to aspect is
Mhm.
just people get confused on timelines. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that goes back to like I mean, fuck. This is gonna go off topic again, bro. But this
Go
is something
ahead,
I
man.
remembered. Like with like the Sphinx and stuff like that, they there was like water markings, like water,
Hmm.
like water erosion.
Hmm.
And that was like, no, that's sand. That's sand. Like sand and water erosion are look totally different from
Yeah,
each other.
it
Obviously,
takes too much,
fucking
two different
clearly.
timelines.
Yeah. So I mean, but we understand that now that over thousands of years, like that whole area changes from
Yeah,
desert to green, like every
yeah.
few thousand years. So that's why, like that, like you said, it probably took them hundreds and hundreds of years to make all that shit. So so how long ago was that? How many thousands of years ago was that even made? To have water
Exactly.
erosion on those things, that's probably thousands of years old. Thousands of years older than what we actually believe and what we think.
Well,
And it probably took
it
hundreds
doesn't
of years
take.
too. And who knows what time they're making? Were they making it whenever it was desert? Were they making it whenever it was green? Like when were they making it? What time period were they making it in as
Well, it would be
well?
most logical that they were making it through when it was a desert, but with going back to with the carbon dating thing and all that type of stuff, most of those things are actually accurate. What most likely happened was there was a rainfall that happened that was bigger than what anybody ever could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with dry desert like that, and if you get that type of sand that dry, erosion's going to happen quicker than just any other place on earth, right?
Yeah.
So it probably took double, almost maybe triple the time to just, or it probably was faster, like double or triple faster than what it usually would be to erode that type of sand and rock and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
um so most likely it was built on the timeline that they give it, but because of what we know, um, it just eroded faster
Yeah.
than what it usually would erode, just because it was just I can't think of the word, but it was basically didn't have any fucking water poured on it for a long time.
Yeah.
And when you have something that is
It's a
that
material that
dry, it
wasn't
erodes
used to it.
faster.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
used to
exactly.
it. It wasn't used to that kind of
So
rainfall.
So those types of things, it probably was built when they said that it was built.
Mm-hmm.
But um, with the water markings and the erosion, things like that, it just happened faster than what it usually happened. Because we're basing everything off that we know from what happens today, right?
Yeah.
Um, so people are just saying that it's been a while, or it had to be built before the timeline that they're giving us because of what we know today. But we can't
Yeah.
go off of that because it was a very, like you said, it was a very different environment back then.
Yeah.
So the rock could have been weaker, the rock could have been able
Everything
to
was different
erode
back then.
faster.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
People,
So,
animals, everything.
and it's things that we can't really figure out today because with that environment changing, it also changed while it was going. So now the rock is tougher than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
So you just it's a very confusing topic, and it's going to take a long time to really get everything that we know into the picture,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that actually happened into the picture back then. But most likely I would go with the scientist on those types of things,
Yeah.
because it makes the most sense. If something is the most factual and you can look it up and it's the most factual, then I would go with that type of thing. Um, just like a lot of people say that humans wasn't around for as long as we think they were.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make much sense. Just because of the area. Yeah, the what are we technically called? What is the name? We're not. It's Homo sapiens.
Yeah. Homo
That's
sapiens.
what
Yeah.
it is. Um, they were human, or they were people before the Homo sapiens came around, before we came around.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, it just it depends on what actually was going on back then, the environment, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean,
of stuff like that.
animals evolve to whatever the climate they're in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like, I mean,
Exactly.
that's why in Europe, like in the colder places in Europe, there are a lot more. There's whiter people. There's people are white
Yeah.
there because they need to take in more sunlight to keep it warm, and that's why people in Africa are a lot darker because
Yeah.
that's their they over thousands and thousands and thousands of years they evolved for that area like animals do. Like I mean, there's like an island where there's lions like twice as big than where they're actually from because of the kind of things they have to kill and eat. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if different animals evolved at different places, like crocodiles here are gonna be, or alligators here are gonna be a lot different than like in China. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
closely related, but I mean Chinese alligators like fucking tiny, and American alligators are like fucking massive as shit. Compared, because that's the kind of environment they
That's the
need to be
environment
in.
they have to be in.
Like
Yeah.
Nile crocodiles and saltwater crocodiles are fucking way bigger because of where they're at, because of the kind of
Exactly.
animals they have to eat and the kind of things they have to hunt.
Exactly.
Cayman are a lot smaller in certain areas because of the stuff that they have to eat, because they have to eat a lot smaller things.
Going back to like the asteroid shit,
Mhm.
um, most likely we've probably had a couple of asteroid hits
They're all
in the
over the
Earth's
world.
existence,
All over the world, there's
but
craters. They find them
yeah,
all
yeah,
over the world.
yeah, but something not as massive as the extinction of the dinosaur,
Hmm.
because when you're looking at it from that, it is very, and I mean, stupidly rare,
Oh yeah,
um, of like asteroid hits, because of just its space. You know
asteroids
what I'm
still hit
saying?
us, but not as, because of how our atmosphere is. By the time the asteroid actually does hit us, it's like a little tiny pebble.
Yeah, it's not as big. It's
And it
like
only hits
it's a
Siberia
medium.
anyway. No one cares about Siberia.
Exactly.
Let it hit that cold ass place. No one lives there. Like there's like 5 people that live there. It's fine. One of them gets hit. It's like
Exactly.
whatever. It's like 5 people. Now it's 4 people. Who cares?
Fuck it. It's fine.
'Cause by the time it
Fuck
hits, it's
it.
like the size of a size of a baseball. You know what I mean? It would have to
Yeah.
be. It would have to be an asteroid the size of like double the size of the moon for it to like do any real damage, like serious damage.
Oh.
Because
No,
it
no,
would
no,
like
no.
well not may I forgot what
Size
they
of a
said.
bus.
I forgot what they
Size of a
said.
bus will fuck us up.
They said like some ridiculous like size like asteroid would get so like distorted by the time like it got through the atmosphere that it wouldn't do much. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I forgot what it was, because it was a long time ago whenever I heard it,
It
but it was
just
like some
breaks down
crazy
as it goes
numbers.
into our atmosphere because of the oxygen that we have and because
Mhm.
of gravity and things like that. It just breaks down. And so, no, an asteroid has to be like, I think the size of like 3 buses or some shit to really do some fucking damage.
Yeah,
But because if there was the asteroid the size of 2 moons that hit us, Earth is gone, my boy. We are
yeah. I over
gone.
exaggerated it, but yeah, I forgot what
We
they
are
said.
gone.
Yeah, yeah.
But
A lot of stuff's happening that day.
yeah, like for that asteroid to hit millions of years ago, it was a very rare event, and it was
Hmm.
just big enough to really fuck up. Which it wasn't the asteroid impact itself; it was the molten lava that was coming from that was raining down for generations.
Yeah.
That's what really most likely fucked up the dinosaurs, and also the decrease in oxygen probably
Hmm.
fucked up the dinosaurs too. That's most likely how they died out. It wasn't just because of the asteroid; it was
Hmm.
because of the aftermath of the asteroid that happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Because who knows what the
but
asteroids did? Like what caused other shit to happen. I mean,
oh
obviously
yeah,
the lack
and
of
the
oxygen,
I was about to
plants
say,
being destroyed and killed, so like less oxygen now. There's a lot of things were being burnt up. Just shit like that. Like, I mean, maybe the asteroids fucking made these volcanoes go too. I mean, who knows what happened?
yeah,
Because everything was
it's a
happening
lot of
during that time.
there's a lot of things that, yeah, exactly, like it did actually make volcanoes and tsunamis happen too, because when it hits at that certain velocity, it shakes the fucking earth, it
Yeah.
shakes the core, and it shakes them tectonic plates. And when that happens, that's when volcanoes erupt, that's when tsunamis happen, that's when a lot of natural disasters that are made from earth happen.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that went into play when that asteroid hit. But a lot of people just think that it fucking like crescented the earth basically. They think that it like fireballed the fucking earth and everything was gone.
Yeah.
That's not exactly what happened. But because of that event, more plants were able to evolve and come to what we know today basically. And
Yeah.
some plants and some animals died off because of that. So
Alligators and crocodiles got way smaller. They said they were way bigger back then,
mhm.
because I mean they were competing with fucking T Rexes. Not really, not T Rexes, but like big ass dinosaurs. So they had to be way
Yeah.
bigger, and they evolved to be smaller because of animals were becoming smaller. Like they said there
Yeah.
was like a giant sloth at one point, like
Yep.
millions of years ago, and now they're like these fucking tiny things that barely get out of trees. It takes them an hour to get up and down a tree. You know, I mean, like
Hmm.
it's just like they're like these harmless things, but back then they were like monsters.
Yeah, they were huge.
They were fucking killing dinosaurs and shit. Now they're just like whatever.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
stoners
So
of the animal world. Like
things evolve in different rates, and they might devolve or like get smaller, or they might get larger over
yeah,
time, things like that. It
that's
just
just
depends
because
on
of where
their
they're at.
environment.
Yeah, environment
Exactly.
stuff
It
like
just
that.
depends on their environment and what they actually have to adapt to that environment.
Mhm.
Like the fucking megalodon and shit. That shit was crazy. People still think that megalodons are out there right now.
Hey man, nah.
Okay.
But I mean, there's probably huge shit that we've never found because I mean we've explored more of space than we have of our own ocean, and there's extremely deep parts of the ocean. We find new shit all the time down in these deep parts of the ocean. I mean, there's parts of
Hmm.
the world we haven't discovered yet. There's this place in the Amazon where it's kind of like this big crater thing. It's like
Hmm.
underneath the forest. There's like more forest underneath the forest, and there's animal species there we've never seen before either. And they think there's probably like stuff that we thought had been extinct for hundreds of years that might still be down there. We haven't exported it because it's impossible to get down there as at
That
the
was
current moment.
actually that was a false. That's actually false. Because okay, so I know exactly what you're talking about, and so we've already it has a limit to that underground forest,
Hmm.
basically, and it's not really an underground forest. It's literally like a patch of forestry that is just in a crater that has evolved and developed. And when it collapsed, soil was brought down, and things
Yeah.
were able to grow because of the sunlight that was directly hitting it.
Hmm.
We've already explored that. We've
Oh,
already
okay. Yeah.
explored it, and we've already known exactly what's in it and things like that. And there's not really species that are in it, really, per se, because if you think about it from a logical standpoint, there's no real way to actually have a species down there. So
Hmm.
you need a lot of certain of animals for other animals to actually develop. Like a coyote needs smaller animals to eat so that it can thrive,
Yeah.
basically, right? There's not enough space there to actually have bigger animals survive. Now things that are, what are they called? Herbivores or some shit like that. Things that only eat plants. Those
Yeah.
things live down there, but they're more of the like insects and things like that that live down there.
Hmm.
There's no real animals down there. But I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure you either saw it on like a TikTok or some shit, something like that.
I forgot who the
Uh,
guy. There's this guy. He like just like he like tries to find extinct species and
yep,
shit like that.
yep.
He's that guy, and he's found some and been able to like
Hmm.
help them like repopulate, and has not found some. Some of the shit is obviously kind of like over exaggerated
Yeah,
because of Discovery, like or Animal
yeah.
Planet. Animal Planet and Discovery fucking over exaggerate shit like
Oh
crazy.
yeah, hundred
But like him
percent.
on his own, he does pretty well if he's not like kind of um like kind of like being pushed by the corporate by the
Yeah, yeah,
executives kind
yeah,
of. He does a lot of good shit on his own, does a lot of good
yeah.
stuff like with that end. And I mean there's probably shit we haven't found yet. I mean we still
Oh,
find new shit all the
100%,
time. We
hundred
find
percent. There's stuff that we haven't
we find
found.
different species of like certain animals that we have today. All the like not
Yeah,
all the time but pretty consistently enough to where we'll probably find some big shit at some point. Maybe not in the near future. There's probably not enough of them for us to see yet. And I mean shit evolves, animals evolve. I mean, there's like animals that are closely related that are like totally different from each other now.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like there's
Um,
like fucking water creatures that there's like water animals that are closely related to some land animals. But like so
exactly.
far that it's kind of like not really obvious. You kind of have to really look deep into like
Hmm.
evolution throughout
I
millions of
think that
years.
it's going to be. I think there's going to be more finding shit out, more finding more species in the water than out of the water, because
Hmm.
on land we've explored damn near all of it. I mean,
Yeah.
we've explored damn near all of it. We know a lot about
There's
the
like
species
small
that are on land.
islands that we haven't that
Exactly,
because of the people
exactly.
that live there, but like I mean, once we nuke those people, I mean we just go in, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
exactly.
Hey, just
Like
get
that,
by and to do some drone strikes, we'll be fine.
which is crazy to think about. Because do you know about that little island that like the native tribe does not let anybody get on, and they're very fucking like they're very protective of their land and shit like that.
Yeah.
They don't even know that we have a Tesla. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like that shit's crazy to think about. So there's probably more smaller items like
I
that.
just
And
want to
there's a
know what
lot of
happened to them to make people not want to come on. Like who got there before we knew about them to like fuck them over to the point where they just like
it's not really
they say fuck you, fuck anybody
well,
else that
it's
tries to
not
come
really
here.
that. It's that imagine that well, yeah, okay, think of it like this. Imagine that we're just sitting in our house and
Hmm.
a fucking spaceship comes over us.
Yeah, we would be kind of
We're gonna defend it. We're gonna
yeah,
defend our property, basically, and that's how
yeah,
it is for them. These guys have never seen a fucking helicopter in their life.
and they're
Now
seeing
there's like
helicopters.
10 of them
Yeah,
coming over, and they're
they
like,
think
"What the
they
fuck is
think we're
going on?"
aliens. They think we're
Exactly.
aliens.
And people that are like clothed, they're confused about because they never seen like clothes before. They
Yeah,
never seen fabrics
you
like
give
that
them a
before.
Bible and they're fucking tearing that shit apart because they don't know what it is.
Exactly.
They
You
don't
give
know
them
what
a
a book is.
fucking you give them a metallic shirt and they're fucking going insane. They've never
Yeah.
seen words before. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, they
So
don't know. They have their own fucking language for all we
it's
know.
things like that, dude. Like when the first people probably went over there, they were like, what's this place? And they were like, we don't know who the fuck you are. Why don't we just go ahead and kill you real quick? Why don't we just
Yeah,
go
they
ahead
killed
and
that one that one missionary dude not that
yep,
long
yep,
ago.
yep. Yeah, on the fucking boat that was like, I'm gonna make contact with them. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. And
I
then
mean,
he
if they're
fucking
shooting
dies.
arrows at you whenever you're pretty far away from them, like it's probably the best to just stay a little far away, man.
Yeah, stay a little bit back.
If you gave them
We'll
a
go.
Bible and they tore the Bible apart, you think it's probably safe to fucking go onto the island? Probably
Yeah,
not.
like, but yeah, that's the type of thing that like happens for them is that they don't know what the fuck's going on. They never seen a goddamn, never seen a fucking plane before. This shit flies over them. They think Jesus is coming down to fucking smite them. Like,
Yeah, they think some god is coming down to kill them. You know, they don't
yeah,
know what's going
exactly.
on.
They don't know what the hell's going on. So that's why that's like a no-go zone basically anymore. It's like, hey, nobody's allowed to go over there because we're gonna fuck them up real bad. And they're gonna fuck us up too.
Oh yeah,
Um.
Indian military fucking keeps that shit under lock now.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Especially after that missionary guy died, they've really kept
Hmm.
that shit up. They have like fucking they have like fucking military shit surrounding that place. Make sure no one gets in or
Exactly.
out. But,
But
but
yeah,
at some point, those people are probably gonna start inventing shit. You never know. They're probably gonna start evolving. It's gonna take thousands of years. Me and you are not gonna be around by the time that shit
oh hell no.
happens. By the time they decide to explore, by the
Well,
time they decide to advance their shit, we're not gonna be around. But they probably
by
will
the
at
time
some point.
they explore, they're gonna shit themselves if they fucking explore.
They're gonna come to India and be like, "What the fuck is all this shit?" They're gonna be so
Yeah,
surprised.
you got
Like we're
you
so far,
fuckers. Yeah,
we're
you
so far
fuckers make building out
gone.
of stone. What the hell's going on here? What
What
the
is this material that I'm
Oh,
seeing right now?
what the fuck? We
They
just
don't
knew
know what
sticks and
metal is.
leaves. What is happening right now?
They're fucking using rocks as fucking spears and shit. They don't know what fucking metal
Yeah,
is.
yeah, they don't know what the hell's going on.
They probably just
But
recently found out about fire, bro. They don't know what the fuck's going on, man.
yeah, they just found out what the fuck the iPhone 8 is because somebody just went over there and had one.
They made their own iPhone. They're coming over here talking.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck is all this shit? What is that going through the sky like a bird? It's a Tesla. Like what the fuck? What's a Tesla?
What
A
the
car?
fuck is
What's
a
a
Tesla?
car?
Yeah, exactly. Shoes. The fuck is that? What the hell is a shoe?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean they're probably freaking. Yeah, if they explode, they're gonna shit themselves. They're
I
gonna
mean,
fucking
by the
freak
time
the hell out.
by the time they get even like by the time they invent the wheel, we'll be fucking having flying cars and shit. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Most likely, they're gonna die out before
Oh
they
yeah.
decide to explore.
They don't even know how
Most
many is
likely.
there. There's probably like a couple dozen, maybe not probably
Mm,
less than 50, maybe. Who knows? Because that's
I
a
would
not
say
a
there's.
big island.
It's bigger than what you think.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But I
They don't know
think
how many
it's probably
people live
like
there because they
a
only
good
know
like
from the men
200.
that come out.
Yeah.
But who knows how many
Eh,
women are there and how many children are there and what they have to eat and stuff like that.
yeah,
There's
exactly.
probably a lot of
But
fish though.
that is a crazy ass fucking place to be. That is a
Yeah.
crazy ass thought to be. Yeah, that's crazy. But I hate to do this to you, but I do have to go because I do have to
Yeah.
wake up early in the morning.
Yeah, we've been talking for like I mean this stream alone is like an hour and a half long, bro. But it was fun,
But
man.
yeah,
If you ever want to do
hey,
this shit
yeah,
again, let me know, bro. I
definitely. I'll
enjoy
let you know
this
when
kind of
if I
stuff.
have the time.
I bet, bro. Well, I hope
All
you
right,
have
peace
a
out, man.
great night. I'll see you, bro.
See you too. Bye.
All right, stream. It's time, bro. It's time. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, boys. Thank you guys for the fucking crazy stream, boys. I appreciate you guys. We had to end the last one because the last one fucking crashed. But I love you guys. Hope you guys all have an amazing. I'll see you guys in the next motherfucking stream, baby. Goodbye. Stop stream.